Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today as I set up my bullet journal for October. So as usual, we're doing a little flip through of September. I really enjoyed this theme. I thought it was really cute, and I also enjoyed being able to use a lot of my stash of stickers and washi tapes. I had these cat and raccoon stickers for oh my, like since January, I think, so it's really good to use them. Overall, the spreads worked really well last month. The only thing that I will change this month going forward is the mood tracker. I don't know if you could see, but I did a graph with my other trackers for mood, and it wasn't as satisfying, so we're going to go back to a more graphic doodle style mood tracker this month. But anyway, so here we are, we're setting up my first page or spread, which is going to be the cover page and the calendar spread. So I've got these scrapbooking papers that were part of two sets from Journal Say. Again, they were part of that haul that I bought in January. So I bought a lot of spooky themed items. So we're using these papers. This one's got music notes. So they're kind of dark forest themed. And the one at the top corner is kind of moody trees. And I'm using this Pentel Evergel liquid gel ink pen in a dark forest green. It's a 0.7, and I'm going to be using this for my line work for all my boxes and tables in this layout. So I'm just laying down some lines for my calendar here, and I'm setting my calendar up slightly differently this month. It's probably going to look a bit strange. It's a bit of an unusual setup. So I've split the calendar in the middle because that's where eventually I want the header to go for October. So I'm just drawing out my boxes, and I believe they were 4 by 5. And I decided not to use a ruler. I just wanted it quite free form. And I've put a little box in the top corner in case I want it for tasks or events. So I'm going to be using my days of the week stamps. These are fairly new. I think these were from Temu. And this metallic brush paint pen, which was from Journal Say or Stationery Pal. Apologies for the focus here. I think the camera couldn't decide whether to focus on my hand or the page. So I'm just getting those days of the weeks down, and I wanted to use these stickers by Ikigage Papia on Washi Bujo, as she is on YouTube. And I'm just putting the headers for this month down in this top box. And then I'm going to use that gel pen again just to go in and number each of the days for the month in the top right hand corner box. So I did initially make a mistake and start with 1 as Monday, in the top left hand corner, which I will just go and correct that with some correction fluid now. And this Tipex corrector pen's pretty good. It's not so good if you want to write over it afterwards, but I decided to change the orientation of the numbers, so that wasn't a problem. So now I'm using these highlighters, which were from Stationery Pal, I think, originally. They're the milk, let me get this right now, half sugar set highlighters, and the one box is jam and the other box is tea. So I'm using the cooler tone for this box in this bluey green tone, sorry, just to highlight every second line in that top box. And now I know where my calendar is, I can go in with a little bit more decoration. So I've taken some more decorative papers. Again, this is a different set. This is more kind of a witchy apothecary type set from Journal Say again. And I'm just going to do some corner decorations. So once I know it's the right size, I go in with my glue tape and glue the edges, and then stick it down into the corner. You might notice in this setup, I'm using my fingers as a guide for the corners to help it line up a little bit easier. It's a little hack that I use. And I had this holographic celestial tape that I wanted to use. It's a washi tape and it is really, really gorgeous. Again, this one, I think everything in this video pretty much was from Journal Say. So I'm just measuring that out, tearing it, and I'm not going to use it as the full width. I'm going to tear it in half and it'll give a nice softer edge along the top half and frame the calendar quite nicely. So it took me a while to figure out what theme I wanted to use for October. I always have a little bit of like performance anxiety when it comes to the October spread, because I want it to be really good, and I had so much stationery to use. So this is the Archer and Olive Halloween box from last year, the sticker sheet from that box, I should say. So I'm using a few of the elements from that sticker sheet, and there were two sheets in the box. One had a dark background, which is one of the sticks I'm using from here, and the other one had light. And I know I wanted to use this large haunted house sticker in that section on the left hand side, so I'm just thinking of where I want to put these bats and decide, yeah, they need to go up in that top corner. So I'll finish this off just by placing that haunted house sticker. Is it haunted? Who knows? Maybe it's just an old house. But yeah, that sticks down there. I'm not going to do the headers yet because I need to print them out. So we'll come back and do the headers a little bit later, so we can do them all together. So I'll just finish the page off using my corner chomper. And I'm just going to put down some small boxes along the right hand column of this month box, so that I can add events or use them as check boxes for tasks, and then return the page. So this page is going to be my trackers spreads. So as usual, I'm drawing this large table. This works really well for me now. I kind of feel like I've got it cracked for me. So the top section of the table is my pain and fatigue tracker, and sleep as well along the bottom, when I remember to put the sleep in. And then the bottom table is more for a multi-purpose tracker table. So I'll put things like, did I take my medication? Am I doing my protocols? Did I do therapy? Skincare? Did I have a crash? Various, whatever you want to track along that bottom left-hand column. So I'm using the same gel pen that I've used with everything so far. And I'm just putting the days of the month across the top, and then the numbers of the days of the month across the top, and then the initial of each day across the bottom. And that seems to be enough to keep me on track. Last month my table was in a vertical orientation, and I decided I didn't like that, so I've gone back to the horizontal. So we're using these washi paper / scrapbooking paper sets to do our corner frames again. It's going to be a bit of a theme for this setup, and I'm just using any offcuts of papers that I've already torn and choosing particular landscapes that I think will fit the setups and the tables around them. So here we go, illustrating that. Fingers on the corner of the page, line up the whatever you're gluing, just by feel basically, and then you can lay it down, and it's 9 times out of 10 it comes out pretty aligned with the right angles of the pages. Only works if what you're gluing down is a right angle, so if you've cut it yourself and it's not quite square, then it won't line up in the same way. But it's a good little hack. Anything that kind of makes my life a little bit easier, it's all good. So I'll get these corners down. And then go back to these stickers. So these stickers were from the Archer and Olive box set as well. This washi tape with the moons was from Journal Say. I've got 2 types of this. I've got it in a dark, like a black and a blue colourway, and a more lighter white / gold colourway. Both will make an appearance during this setup. So I'm just going with overall how the pages feel and what I think will fit best. I didn't do a huge amount of planning prior to this. I just kind of gathered everything together and then just went with how I felt it would look best as I laid it all down. So we're using more of the sticker sheets from Archer and Olive. And again, no title yet, because we're going to come back and do those. And the trusty corner chomper, which I work out works better upside down for these papers. They're just a little bit on the thin side, I think. And then I'm going in with the warmer toned green highlight from the half sugar sets. So I think this one is from the jam set. And they are a little bit to chisel tip, so it's a little bit shorter than the height of the dot grid. But as long as you follow one of the dots, it works out okay. I'm not going to be too precious about them filling the entire dot grid space. It's just to kind of help with the legibility as you're filling in that table. So as the months progress, you don't get lost. Here we go. So here's the star of the show, my little thermal printer. This isn't a faux memo. It may look like one, but it is a dupe. I bought it, wow, a few years ago now. And I'm using it with a clear sticker paper. What paper? It's more plastic. So I've printed out all my headers. And I just used a font website for this Gothic type print, because I couldn't get my head around using Canva. It was doing my head in, and there wasn't a font that I really kind of gelled with. So I'm going to cut around all of these headers. This is going to be the first time you see, the first and only time you see me cutting around these stickers, because it's tedious and I'm not going to subject you to that. And I had like 3.5 hours of footage to get through, and nobody wants to watch that much cutting out, fussy cutting. So for a little bit of calm ASMR-ish content, enjoy this one header being cut out. So that's where it's going to go. So the calendar does look really strange with the gap in the middle, but once the header's down, I think it makes sense. I'll keep you posted as to how easy it is to use. It should be okay. So line that header up, get some focus back, and then go in with some more stickers. I wanted to use one of these little ghosties from the Archer and Olive sticker sheet. They're so cute. So pop him down. And I just felt like it needed a little something extra around the header. So I decided to go in with my Pigma Micron and just draw some little batties. And these guys are inspired by the 3 bat stickers that are up in the top left hand corner. So I'm just emulating the style of the bats, just to fill in a little bit of space, add a little bit extra spooky ookiness. And I think it turned out really quite nice. So I was quite pleased with how the bats turned out. They're quite sweet, but still not too cartoony. It worked really well. And overall, I'm really pleased with how this cover spread / calendar turned out. So next up, we turn back to our trackers page, and again cut out the trackers header, but I promised I wouldn't subject you to too much cutting out. So there we go, by magic. It's cut out and stuck down onto the page where I want it. So we're introducing a new washi tape. This one is from, surprise surprise, Journal Say, and it's this autumnal witchy Halloweeny themed tape. Unfortunately not kiss cut, so I'm having to cut out all the stickers that I want to use. And again, I won't subject you to too much cutting out. So here we are, we've cut out all the pieces that we want, and we're going to lay them down. So these are books with florals, little potion bottles, some scrolls with florals, Just these little on-theme elements that I think will work in this top section. So now we're done with the trackers spread, we'll turn the page and start on the mood tracker. So like I said before, I didn't really enjoy using the graph tracker. It was a bit dry for my liking. So I wanted to go more back to a doodle type tracker. I really enjoy this format where I'll draw a shape or a character and leave the face blank and then draw the mood of each day on the face of the character. It turns out really funny, and even if I have really, really bad days, the overall spread looks really funny by the end of the month, and it really does make me laugh. So this month I decided, inspired by the little ghosties on that sticker sheet, that I would do some ghosties. And I started off just emulating the ones that were on the sheet, and then very quickly realised that I was going to run out of ghosts to copy. So I kind of had this idea of having ghosties doing everyday activities. And the more I drew, the more it just made me laugh. I was cackling away to myself as I was drawing these guys. So far we've got one that's exercising, one's reading a book, one's watering a houseplant, one's having a cup of tea, and someone else is pouring tea for him / her. And it just really amused me, like I was sitting there thinking like, well, what do people do? What are people-y type things that I can get these ghosties to do? And it was quite fun, racking my brain. So that one guy's doing a self-portrait. The one I've just drawn is experiencing some flatulence, shall we say. The last one was quite neutral. This one is doing a headstand. And this one is holding a pumpkin because it's Halloween, spooky season. So yeah, it just really made me chortle, and it was good brain exercise. This one's having a birthday, he's holding his birthday cake. Good brain training, thinking of different activities and things that these little ghosties can do. This guy's on his laptop, and this one is performing the extreme sport of parachuting and is using a friend as a parachute. So yeah, they really, really amused me. This guy with his hands in his pockets just cracked me up. Oh my gosh. So funny. And this one eating a burger. So just adjusting their skirts there. This one's raking up some leaves, kind of on autumnal brand and theme. And this one is in disguise. May actually be a cat under there. And we've got this little ghostie listening to some music and having a bop. Wonder what he's listening to. This one's having a nap. They're in bed. This one is doing a me, updating their bullet journal, although they're using a quill rather than a fountain pen. And this one is doing good work by throwing their litter away in a bin. This was one of the first ones I drew. He's going to work, so he's got his little bowler hat and briefcase. And this one is having a boo. Being scary. this one's got to go fast. And that last one was, oh wait, it cut off. But yeah, you'll see later, spoilers. And then I decided I wanted to draw a ghostie that was a little bit more representational for me. It's going to probably look a little bit strange for most people, but that last one was having oxygen therapy, which is something that I have twice a week. So yeah, you can see number 31 there at the bottom is just a sheet on the floor. So yeah, once I'm done with these details, I decided to bite the bullet and finish this last one. Oh my god, this one really took a lot of brain power. Like, I wanted to draw one riding a bike, and I could not for the life of me think about like what a bike looks like. So yeah, we got there in the end. So here's the header. We're going to pop it down. I did put it in the wrong place and had to tear it up, but it goes down properly the second time. And then I'm just adding the numbers for each day next to each ghostie so it doesn't get too confusing for my poor adult brain. Again, using Pigma Micron, and I think it was in an 03 or an 04, whichever one I had to hand. So now I know where the ghosts are, I can put a little bit of decoration on the page. Like, the page isn't decorated enough, but you know, it looked a little bit monochromatic, let's say. Not plain per se, but so again, using that finger and thumb hack along the corners to get it to line up. Didn't work too badly here. And now I have nails. I realised that you can actually indent the page with your nails to mark out where you want to tear when you're lining everything up. So that was quite handy. Didn't have to get a pencil out. And another thing I've discovered is if you're gluing and you glue along the sides of the paper, along the sides of the page that you want to glue on, if you do overlap, it will just go onto the page that you're going to be gluing onto anyway, so it doesn't make your page messy. So we've been learning lots of things setting this month up. So here we are using another Lunar sticker sheet, this time from Notebook Therapy, and the offcut from the cover page of this celestial black and holographic tape gets used again, so nothing goes to waste. So I just wanted to set a large moon from that PET tape down there, and I cut out a bunch of little stars from that tape, and then decided that I thought it'd be fun to turn the ghosts glow in the dark. So I had this glow in the dark paint, which was from Aldi in the UK last year. I wasn't sure how good it was going to come out. The bottle still glowed when I charged it up with some light, so I knew that the ink was still active, or the paint was still active. So I'm just using one of these round Chinese calligraphy paint brushes, which I think were from Temu, just to paint in all the white spaces of our little ghosties. And it's probably going to look like nothing because the paint is clear until it's activated and it's dark. So it looks like I'm just painting nothing on white spaces. You can see there a little bit, one of the blobs. So I'm going to go ahead and paint all these guys and girls, and then I'll come back and with a little bit of spooky Halloween magic, I will show you, once they're all coloured in, how they look in the dark. So I'll leave you with some relaxing music just to watch these little ghosties come to life. So we're going to fast forward a little bit and cut to the end, filling in our little ghosty sheet with the last of the glow in the dark paint. And I'm sure you're all wondering how it looks. So with a little bit of magic, there we go. So we can see that it glows just very faintly. So now I'm going to colour in the elements that our little ghosties are using for their activities. So I'm using this grey Tombow Fudenoski in a hard tip just to do the grey elements. Look at the tyres and the weights. This guy's laptop. And whatever else I think will look best in this grey tone. So I did have a little play with the glow in the dark feature of this page and worked out that if I charge it with a UV light, it charges faster and stays for longer. So that first illustration was just charged with a normal overhead ceiling light. So this is a Fudenoski in the orange colour. The hard tip Fudenoski pens I have don't have any numbers on them, so I'm just going by the colour that they look. It's only the dual brush pens that I have coloured. So I coloured them all in, and I'm cutting off the corners. I put my little stars down as well, and that finishes the mood tracker. We turn on to the next page, and this next page is going to be a new setup for me. I'm using that gel pen again in that dark foresty green tone, and I am drawing out a content planner. So I've been trying to get a little bit more consistent with posting on my social media accounts. I have this YouTuber account. I also have a Instagram account. It was the Instagram account that started me sharing my bullet journal bits and bobs. And I also have a TikTok. So they're all called Bujos at Dawn. So nice and easy. And I just wanted a little table that was going to help me just kind of stay on track with what I'm posting when. I am trying to be more consistent with at least posting my short form media. Those are a little bit easier for me than putting too much long form content out. Because of my illness, I'm unable to consistently work. Otherwise, I would be working. So having this planner is just going to help me kind of keep on track of what I'm doing when. It will also help with my memory, which isn't great. So we're using those scrapbooking papers again from the apothecary set. And this time I'm just cutting out a little corner so that it looks like it's behind the content planner. Just mixing it up a little bit. And I'm gluing down onto the page instead of just onto the paper this time. And that's going to make it a little bit easier to cut out, so I'm not cutting out sticky paper, because let's face it, that's annoying. So we'll cut around this with the scissors, recurring characters, the red handle scissors. And I'll continue decorating. I'm trying to use these offcuts, and it wasn't until later on I realised that I'm going to be covering this one up. But at the time it made sense to put it here. So I'm just going through that little papers booklet from Journal Say. I wanted to find another one of these moody foresty images that I could kind of tear along the tree line, and it would frame the table in quite a nice way, like so. So we glue that down. And then if you look over to the right, there's a new sticker sheet. This one is from Notebook Therapy again. I think this was the Lunar Mysteries sheet. I think, something like that. It's been a while. I have had it a while. So I wanted to use elements from this sheet because it has like to-do lists and, you know, only small, but yeah, that's me figuring out, oh, I can't actually tear that up now I've glued it down. So yeah, I wanted to use that sticker sheet because I thought it would work quite well with the content planner spread. So I'm just going through, basically rinse and repeat, tearing the corners. I think this entire setup has corner frames throughout. Not something that was planned in advance, just how it worked out. And then I'm going to use the cooler toned highlighter from the half sugar set to highlight every second line of boxes on this table. Like I say, it's a bit of a shorter chisel tip, so I'm needing to do 3 passes to fill each box. Each box is 2 dot grid spaces high, by the way. But these are really nice actually. They don't go too streaky. They were very, very good value as well. And I'm going in with that gel pen, and I'm just trying to think of little icons that are going to make sense to me to represent each of these columns. So going from right to left, we have a YouTube logo for posting on YouTube. Then I've got a little thumbnail. Then I've got an audio, little speaker for the voiceover, if the video requires it. And then I have editing and then filming. So there's quite a lot of, it's quite a process to get a video out, particularly a long form video out like this. And I've just used a strip of that lighter coloured Lunar PET tape along the top, and then I'll put the header across the top. Now it looks like it's not very legible from here, but in real life you can see it quite easily. It says content plan because I didn't have room for planner. And I'm going in with those little Lunar planning stickers from Notebook Therapy. And then we start on the next page. So this page is a little bit of a spin on Erin's goals, musings, and anticipating spread. I wanted somewhere just to have a little check-in for the month. So we've got conjuring, that's going to be for my goals. We've got charming, that's for the things that I'm enjoying, as in I find them charming. And then we have blessings, and that's the things that I'm thankful for. So like a gratitude log. And I'm using the warmer tone highlighter from that half sugar set. It is 2 sets, by the way. The one is the tea set, the other one is the jam set. I believe the warmer tone is from the jam set and the cooler tone is from the tea set. And that pretty much calls this page almost done. We're just going to use, I'm looking through my stickers to see if I've got anything that I want to use on the little gaps in between the headers. So this is a Lunar sticker from a set by AM Paper and Art Co. And these are from Ikigai Pop here, Mochi Bucho's sticker shop. So finish the page off with the corner chomper. And then next up, I wanted to do like a free page, just somewhere where I can jot down any ideas or musings or information from any appointments or whatever. And I had this lovely paper sheet from that scrapbooking set that it was too nice to cut up, so I really wanted to use it in its entirety. And it's a full moon surrounded by a forest scene, and the light in these papers are just, or rather is, it's just really beautiful. It's a lovely kind of golden tone, but it's not like overly bright. It's very kind of hazy and mystical, very suitable for spooky season. So again, I'm going to use that holographic tape and tear it lengthways and create a frame. So this page ends up being quite a simple layout, but it's a nice illustration of how you don't have to go crazy. You don't need loads and loads of supplies. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can just use a couple of elements and make something quite impactful. So I'm just trimming the frame so it's nice and square. And I've got the torn edge on the inside of the frame. So it's quite effective, it looks quite nice. So I'm just doing some very small corner edges, just so the page isn't too plain. You could leave it like this, or you could do a second line highlight around the outside if you wanted to. I wasn't sure whether I was going to be writing or drawing in this space, so I haven't done any highlights. I've left it fairly plain, really simple, just with those very small modest corner accents using the papers. And again, these washi paper sets are really good value, because you get quite a good few pages in each set, and I haven't even come close to using even a quarter of what's in each booklet, so it's going to keep me going for a while. So we're nearly done. We just put a little dark moon in that bottom right corner, a little ghosty on the top, a little kitty cat on the other side, and then we are onto our first weekly spread. So I'm using my dot grid ruler that I made up at the start of the year, just to mark out on this spread I want 4 boxes on each page, which gives me 8 places to log my daily bump activities, whatever I want to write down, and also a page spare. And again, I'm using that dark green gel pen, which is the Pentel Energel liquid gel ink pen in a dark forest green 0.7. And I'm just measuring this so that this second page, because in this notebook, it doesn't happen very often. This is an Archer and Olive dot grid notebook, and sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes the dots don't match up from the right page to the left, and that was happening in this instance. So I was just making sure that everything was going to line up nicely, and that I wasn't like an entire dot space out or something like that. So I wanted to use this large wardrobe sticker from the Archer and Olive Halloween set. So I thought this was the best place to use it, in one of those large rectangular boxes. And I have some Days of the Week stickers in light and a dark green by Ikigage Papier. And I'm just using the darker green for each of the days. Headers, brush lettering is really lovely. So these stickers are so pretty. And I have the same matching number stickers set from Header. I'll try and put links in the description for at least for the small business sets that I'm using. And I didn't put the Sunday sticker down because I wasn't sure if I wanted to have Saturday and Sunday on the same page. But I've decided that, yeah, I'll use Sunday, let Sunday have its own space. And then we're on to decorating. So we're using more of those little potion bottles from Heather's sticker pages. I've also got her Gothic Girl, I think the sticker set's called. So we put the cat down from that sticker set. And some of her Mochi Tone stickers as well. So yeah, Heather's stickers at ikigagepapier.com are absolutely beautiful. Would I just can't recommend them enough. I use them in a lot of my spreads and setups. She has a really lovely style of writing and drawing. And for the last 2 days of the month here, because last month was kind of a cozy autumnal cozy creatures theme, I used some of the autumn coded stickers from my A&M Arts and Paper Co. sticker sheets, just to kind of keep that theme, to kind of just highlights that those 2 days are still September, and then we get on to Spooky Yuki October. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how this setup turned out. All we have left to do is to have a little flick through so you can see all the pages together. So I'd like to thank you all for joining me. This was quite a long video to watch. Thank you very much for staying till the end. If you have made it to the end, please leave a Halloween themed emoji in the comments. And here's a better look at how this spread looks in the dark. Woo! So they glow really well. And then back to daylight. So yeah, thanks for joining me. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I really would appreciate it. Please like and share the video to help my little video grow. If you're interested in my other social media channels, please pop on over to Instagram or TikTok and follow me there. And with that said, I will see you next time. Bye.